In order to compute this limit, we need to do some rearranging. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the h in the denominator out to the side as a 1 over h, because dividing by h is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, 1 over h. Now let's take a look at the expression inside the parentheses. We have a difference of two fractions, so we need to find a common denominator in order to simplify this expression. Notice that the two denominators do not have a common factor. They both have a 3, but it's not a common multiplicative factor. So our common denominator is going to be the product of the two denominators, 3 and 3 plus h. Combining the fractions, we see that we end up with 3 minus 3 plus h in the numerator. Let's take a closer look at where this comes from. Here's the expression that we're trying to simplify. Remember that we want to have a common denominator of 3 times 3 plus h. For the first fraction, we need to multiply by 3 over 3. Remember that we're trying to multiply by something that's equivalent to 1 that gives us the appropriate denominator. So since in the first case we have a 3 plus h already in the denominator, we just need to multiply it by 3, and then we need to multiply the numerator by 3 so that we don't change anything. Similarly, for the second fraction, we already have the 3 in the denominator, so we need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3 plus h. Combining each of these two expressions, we end up with 3 over 3 times 3 plus h minus 3 plus h over 3 times 3 plus h. So they now have their common denominator. Thus we can rewrite this difference as a single fraction, whose denominator is 3 times 3 plus h, and whose numerator is a combination of the two previous numerators, giving us 3 minus 3 plus h. And here you have to remember to put the parentheses around the 3 plus h, because that negative sign is being applied to that entire expression. And this is where we get the expression that we saw earlier. And so that's how we ended up with this expression that we saw earlier.